Attention really plays a huge role in regulating anxiety. But good intentions are only the beginning. Maybe you're rowing in circles, or maybe you're just standing still. Or look, let's try this for 6 months and just see how it goes. Trey says, how can a person go through the future authoring process of imagining a future for yourself as though you are someone you care about when you barely don't care about yourself or even hate yourself? You know, sometimes you have to act something out before you can start to believe it. And so I would say sit down and pretend that you're your friend. You know, Trey, the probability that there's something so wrong with you that you don't deserve any regard whatsoever is zero, you know. So, and I would say if you just can't get it together, you know, maybe you're depressed. You hear about these idiot savants. There's a lot of ways to be really smart, but there's only one way to be not very smart. If there's 1,500 people in a room, like 15 of them are going to be completely out of their mind. Probably more like 30, but at least 15. What is the evolutionary reason for having consciousness? I think that was Toby who asked that. Transphobia, bigotry, racism, what else? Oh, fascism. It takes people, unless they're very young, it takes people about a year to adjust to a really radical change. Like to move to a new city, to adjust to being married, that can take longer than a year. To adjust to having a new baby, to getting over a relatively serious loss like a death in the family, a year. You have to give yourself time to adapt, and you can't expect that that's going to happen overnight. Things to love, things to eat, things to run away from, things to run towards. What I can tell you is that almost nothing beats listening. You know, like take a kid for a walk, let him talk, like listen to him, ask him questions, you know, because most disturbed people, and maybe even most people, don't actually have anyone they can talk to. As a beginning counselor, the best thing you can do is listen. You don't want to give advice really, you know, because what you want, you can ask questions that might lead someone in an advisable direction. But the problem with giving advice is that people are much more likely to remember something and to implement it if they've thought it up in their own words. Try to lead by example and see how that works. You might have to go out to a movie after you haven't been good to each other for like 5 years. She seems healthy and, you know, she's cute as can be. Of course, babies are sneaky that way. I constantly cannot verbalize my thoughts, written and vocal, regardless of topic and my level of knowledge. Tips for verbalizing thoughts to get them into writing and therefore speech. Well, what I would say, Lauren, is do this, like read something, put it aside, try to summarize it in writing, and talk while you're doing it, and then write down what you say. And don't edit while you're doing that. See, one of the problems that people have when they're trying to write is they try to write a good sentence. They not only try to write a sentence, but they try to write a good sentence. And you can't do that. You have to write a sentence. That's hard enough. And then you have to edit it. So allow yourself to write badly. I'm dead serious about this. Like write a bad first draft. And then edit it. If you get rid of 70% of it, so what? That's exactly what should happen. So like if you want to write a 1,000-word essay, you should start by writing a really bad 2,000-word essay. And then you should get rid of the worst 50%. Let yourself be bad at it. You'll get better as you practice. What is your plan if YouTube deletes your account? Oh, I caused as much trouble as I possibly could. I write about this in my book too, by the way. That's the best I can do without having more information about the specifics of your situation. You have a situation that you know you haven't mastered. Define the situation repeatedly. Define your proper action repeatedly. Practice implementing that in your imagination, and then start to do that in your real life. Should artists waste their time in art school? No, you shouldn't waste your time ever. 1,000 of them are going to be completely out of their minds. You know, it's like, have you stopped beating your wife yet? It's like, how are you going to answer a question like that? You lose either way.